Welcome to Fast Cars, Fast Girls. We are your IndyCar experience. Well, I don't even know what episode it is. It's still season 4 because the IndyCar
It,
season hasn't started yet.
yes, it's 41, I think.
Oh, 441.
Hey, hey, hey.
Hey, hey.
So,
So we were gonna recap the Rolex, which we did not preview,
eh.
because well, we ran out of time. We had other interviews and things.
And then the race kind of, it
It
snuck up
snuck
on
up on
us.
us.
Yeah.
It sneaks up on us every year, even when we go. Honestly,
And like this year with us not going, which is funny though, because it's actually the latest since it was like right
yes.
at the end of January. But all of a sudden I was like, wait, oh my God, like I even watched some of the Roar the weekend before and I'm like just living my best life. And I was like, oh shit, the Rolex is tomorrow.
Well, and also the Roar is usually like 3 weeks before.
That also did set me back. Yeah.
So yeah, it's like, oh, it's the Roar. We got plenty of time. And then yeah, literally all of a sudden on Thursday, I was like, fuck, we never did a preview.
Oh God, the race system. Ah.
I'm like, well, it's 24 hours.
Yeah, like all right, they get the cars, they got to drive for 24 hours. At a
You
pit
can
stop, you got to turn it off and turn it back on again, and you keep going. Okay,
you can reference any of our previous podcasts about the Rolex preview.
it's
The
the
way
same.
it's the same, except for the start. So the start was different this year.
The start was different this year, but only the start, not the restarts.
Yes, and so I actually missed the start, which is unfortunate.
No, it's just the way the start was different. I missed it. That
I
is not
missed it,
why it was different.
but I heard about it, and they showed clips of the CF that happened with the GTD class um, during the start, and so I kept meaning to go back and watch it this week, and it just didn't happen for me.
Yes,
But yeah, like the clips I saw, so I haven't seen the full thing. I've just seen the clips of the GTD cars
I mean
playing
that's
bumper cars.
really all
Um,
you need.
yeah, and I was like, you know what this reminds me of? The one time IndyCar tried to do a standing start.
Texas?
No, it was for the
No, I meant for a Texas race.
oh yeah, yep, or that. So yeah, since you did watch it, explain to the people how it was different.
Certainly. Every year prior, that green flag drops and everybody, like, they get all lined up. They do that nice little, 2x2. Green flag drops all of the cars and all of the classes. They go.
Boom.
Which that's kind of indicative of sports car racing because you got the real fasts. The DPs, your LMPs are kind of fast, and you got your GT cars.
And they line them up by speed, same as if you like run a marathon or a 5K or whatever,
Yep,
and you
but
line up by how many minutes it takes you to run a mile. Like
yeah,
fastest people in front. Yeah.
slowest in the back. But everybody
Yeah.
starts.
Everybody else get in the back with me.
But they all start. Well, this year, only for the start, because they kept saying it, not for the restarts. They started the DP. They started them by class, so they were all going around, and it, like in my mind, it probably was a bit of a logistical nightmare to do this. But so like the DPI cars, the faster cars started, and then each kind of group of cars started later, same time, but like literally, it's like okay, DPI go, okay, LMP, GTD, GTL, or GTLM, GTD, whatever.
That just seems all like I'm surprised that no one thought that that was a bad idea on the front end.
I don't know why they did that. And I'm going to be real honest with you because if you just wave the green flag, people go, but like the cars in the back aren't going to suddenly swoop around everybody and try and pass like the GTD cars in the way back of the field.
Yeah.
They don't try and pass the DPIs. They're
No.
not. But
Also, it's a 24-hour race, and these are sports car drivers. They're not going to throw it away on lap 1, okay? It's not fucking amateur hour.
Well,
it turned into it. But I mean, but like on a traditional start, like no, a GTD is not trying to like kick it into gear and run around with your DPI.
You guys. No, it's not going to happen. Plus, if you start the DPI cars, your fastest group, and then you have like stagger starts behind them, that makes them get into the traffic like quicker. Mm-hmm. So you're not I don't know what they were trying to do.
I don't know either. And it's not like they're waving different flags in between. So it's like, okay, green flag. And then, okay, green flag. Like,
Just
it's
just wave it once. It's fine.
it's very easy to see how there could have been some communication errors, uh,
There were
some
apparently.
missteps. Well, and also the spotters typically call to the driver, green, 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 but they're also pretty far away from the flag stand. So, I mean, it's possible that a spotter saw the green for another class and thought it was for them.
That's actually that's what happened with the crash, was that somebody
Oh,
heard green and somebody didn't. So I don't have the car numbers, but one Porsche in front did not go and the Porsche behind them did. And
and
well,
drove straight through him.
as as we know, if the car in front of you doesn't go but you're going, look, two cars cannot occupy the same spot.
That's just physics, baby.
That's just science.
It's just science, bitch.
And yeah, it was the Ray Hall Letterman Lanigan Porsche hit the WeatherTech Porsche. WeatherTech, a sponsor. Anyways, and it turned into bumper cars. Cars were all over the infield. I mean, everybody kept going, but
but yeah, that was a wild way. Well, and somebody, I mean, like pieces of their car were just still flying off that entire first lap. They had to replace their entire back end.
I think it was like because they didn't immediately throw the yellow, but then like debris came out and a yellow was thrown.
Yeah, because it wasn't until they were in like the twin horseshoes that like huge pieces of the car are just flying into the air. So it's like they get all the way. Yeah, and it's like, oh no, we're gonna have to go FCY.
Oop, oops.
Oh yeah, for a minute I was like, oh, it's an IndyCar race.
Aw, we're home.
Right? We're yellow by lap 2. Awesome.
I'll tell you what, there were a lot of yellows in the beginning part of that race. Like, I felt like for the first 3, I don't have this, but it feels like for the first like 3 to 4 hours, at least half are yellow.
No, that's 100% true. Because remember I was texting you as I was stopped in a parking lot on 65 in a snowstorm. So it was okay for me to text everybody. I was stopped.
On 65.
On 65. And I was like, and I was just bitching about being stopped. But should I tell you that the police officially classified that as a road rage incident?
You did, which is crazy.
I wish that I'd have been closer to the front. I'd have been like, who started this? I'll show you some road rage.
Yeah, first of all,
you about to learn today, okay? Whose fault is this?
Who started it? I don't care. I'm going to finish it, though.
Right? Like, I ain't ever started a fight. Right. But I'm about to finish this.
Anyway.
I'd be like, all of a sudden I just turn into my grandma. You know what? Fuck it. Everyone's getting spanked.
Yeah, exactly. Everybody's at fault. We're just going to start smacking people.
Yep. Like, you know what? I don't care who started it. You all participated. Everybody's getting their ass kicked. Yep. But yeah, so I text you bitching about how I was stuck and I have the sound on. So I have to have my phone turned down, when I was driving, because otherwise I keep looking, which it's super weird to be in a moving vehicle and hear the sounds of cars driving.
I can imagine that's pretty weird, actually.
It really is. And I find, because I've done this a couple times, like with races or, if I want to go back and like listen to a part or whatever when I'm in the car, and it always makes me drive faster because the cars sound so fast. And then I look down and I'm like, oh, I guess I don't need to be doing 90 right now. Like, I'm not racing.
I'm not trying to compete in the Daytona 24.
Yeah. Oh, but yeah, you text me and I wasn't going to get home till like around 8 or something.
That's right. And I was like, don't worry, it's still yellow.
You're like, don't worry, you haven't missed much. Almost the whole time you've been on the road has been yellow.
True. That's 100% true.
And I was like, oh, awesome. I mean, not for the rest of you, but it worked out well for me.
It did work out for you. Although my favorite was somebody, Jerry Drago from the Pain Tour, consistently, who was watching the race, kept texting, why is there a yellow?
Thank you.
I was like, oh my gosh. We're all watching the same race.
I mean, I don't know what else you expect from the man who calls us while we are at the racetrack to ask why the start is delayed. Abby. Yes. Are you at the track? Yes.
Yep.
What's the holdup? Why aren't they starting this race? Which I'm sure they announced on the broadcast multiple times. But here's the thing, and I can respect this because I'm kind of the same way. You don't say his name first, he ain't listening.
For the most part, yes, but like if a race is about to start, I do feel like you would pay attention to that.
You would think. You would think. But why do you just call me?
Just, people, we're not race control. We would like to be.
Oh.
Right?
But can we put that on our goal list?
Yes, our vision board for
vision board. I was like, what's the word?
I don't know. I think vision board.
Vision
yes,
board. You got it.
Which, speaking of yellows and race control, I also hate IMSO race control.
Yeah, that was a fun text thread. I was like, IMSA race control, you do not want any of this. Like, you better watch your ass.
One of the reasons the yellow was so long was because they were trying to get the cars in the right order, which they didn't give a lot of detail. I don't know whose fault it was. Here's the deal. You have cars. Here's the order. You get about a lap to put yourself in that order, and if you don't, well, that's where you're starting from, and we're going to go.
Or you get a drive-through. Like, y'all are professional drivers. I know that there are some quote-unquote amateurs because, you know, but they do have lots of experience in the car. They don't just let some, you know, jag off
like,
with a shit ton of money.
Jumping in a car without ever being in one of these cars before.
Yeah, like you still have to be FIA licensed, etc. But you know the there are less experienced. However, those drivers are never the ones allowed to start the race. I know we're talking about a yellow, but just like as far as who messed up the start, like it wasn't even their amateurs.
But also, FYI wasn't the amateurs that screwed this down.
Yeah, nope, it was all the pros. But yeah, like y'all are professional drivers. If you can't get your shit together in one lap, I don't feel bad for you. Like, get your house in order.
Yeah, that's again, you get one shot. That's it. Then we going because
like we use those headlights. You use them during the green flag.
That's my favorite. I mean,
oh, and I like forgot about it until the first flash, and I was like, oh, that's right. I'm like, they totally
the headlight flashes.
Oh, the like low key F you. I mean, I know it's to let
get
them
out
know.
The way.
Yeah, and it's like also to let them know, like, hey, I'm coming up quick, whatever, you know. But in my mind, it's just all anger.
Yeah, no. Every time, the first time I see it, I sing, "Move, bitch, get out the way, ho."
Yep. Rossi aggressively used his headlights.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, yeah, he did.
I did wear my jersey on Monday, by the way.
Very nice. I actually have switched over to my Rossi 3XL, so I'm sleeping with Rossi right now.
Bitch, so am I. I love that shirt.
I know, but I also got the Alex Polo one. So now it's nice because I get to like alternate my pajama shirts. And so if I don't do like that entire load of laundry in one day, it's okay because I got another one that's just as comfy.
You have more than 2 shirts. I just want to tell the people this.
The 3XLs. Okay.
I know. The way that you said it, you're like, I only have one pajama shirt.
Oh yeah, no. Yeah. These are really the only designated pajama shirts. Usually it's whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever tank I have on.
These are
I'm not a fan.
Yeah,
we're not fancy pajama people.
Actually, I mean, I did buy fancy PJs. You know what? We've gone off. We got to come back. Boop.
No, I want to hear about your fancy PJs now.
No, it's just a PJ set. It's comfy. Gotcha. They're like matching PJ sets.
Oh,
I've not had.
Yeah. No, I think those are adorable. The problem is I don't like long sleeves when I sleep.
Oh, like not long sleeves.
Okay. If it's like a camisole top, I can handle that.
It is.
Okay. Nope, that's fine.
This got weird.
All right. Now we can go back to the Rolex. I mean, it didn't really because lots of people sleep at the Rolex. I mean, lots of people sleep there. So, I mean, you guys play your cards right. You might get to see Molly's PJ set next January. Maybe.
But I'm just saying not during the race, though.
Oh, I believe that was Molly's personal invite to come over to our campsite early in the week.
Well, just because we don't sleep during the race.
I know. Although I do kind of think we should put on PJs at some point.
Oh, no, that the temptation would be too great for us.
Yeah. Oh, and our shit's all packed, so yeah, that's not happening.
Anyway, back.
Anyway, we digress. So, but yeah, the flashing of the headlights, aggressive, love it. That whole thing of not like it was so long because cars couldn't get in order. No, that's not an excuse. Be better.
Nope.
Be better.
Sorry. Try again.
And like, if you're race control, I'd be like, all right, fine. Like, you get this much time, or like, one lap or whatever. And if you can't get it together, it's like, well, drive through.
First of all, you start where you are.
Yeah.
And then when you take a drive through.
I'm going to take a drive through. Now, fun fact about the Rolex and IMSA that I was not aware of or had forgotten. Because like an IndyCar, you get a penalty, you have a certain amount of time to serve it. And if you don't, they disqualify you naturally. And in IMSA, it's actually a little better because they don't necessarily tell you that you're disqualified if you don't serve in the right amount of time. They just stop scoring you. They let you keep driving, but they stop scoring you.
I kind of appreciate that. They just literally go,
nope,
I'm done. I told you, and it's a mom move. Mom getting to the count of 3. You never got to the count of 3, but IMSA was like 1, 2, and I'm not scoring you anymore.
Yep.
I ain't telling you though. We're gonna make them drive for the whole 24 hours. That's a good level of petty.
Oh, I'm here. Yeah, I'm like that is a redeeming point for race control.
That's true.
Yeah. That level of petty, I'm here for it.
Yeah.
I'm here for it. Or race control probably isn't in charge of that. That was whoever wrote that rule. We salute you, and we'd like to buy you a beer.
Yes. Cheers.
Cheers. Right now. All
right.
Well, and also, I think it was the 48 actually, that had one time on pit road an issue getting the car to start. And so they
had like a back wheel spin or something.
Well, yeah, they rolled it out and he popped it in a second. Like any of us who have ever owned shitty cars have had to do occasionally. Or like in Little Miss Sunshine with the band. And they said on the broadcast, that the team must have gotten special permission to do that because that is not allowed. Like, that's the reason you turn the cars off at the pit stops, is because they don't always turn back on. That's part of the fun.
That's the whole point of endurance, is testing these cars.
Yeah. And so they never circled back to it, but I found that interesting. And I feel like if I was a driver or a team member or team owner that at some other race that rule had screwed me and I was like a DNF, and then they like allowed it for this person, like when they were like, there must have been an allowance, like even though that was the car I was rooting for, I was like, nope, everybody gets the same rules.
I think they had to come and serve something for that.
Okay, that's fair then.
If we're thinking about it, I think eventually they were like, you gotta, and I think it was just a drive through it.
That's right. Oh, you know what? You're right, because that's when they gave the fact about like if you don't do it enough time.
Yeah.
So, okay, well that makes sense then.
Yeah. All right. Sorry, I'm looking through. The ending. So here's the deal: the ending of that race. That was pretty intense. Unless, did you have other parts to talk about in the middle of it? Because, I'm sorry. Let me point out this note. T-Bell car caught fire.
Yes, it did.
Townsend Bell's car that he was sharing actually with Zach. Oh my God, Zach Beach's car caught fire. Wait, was he in the same car? They were.
Yeah, I was like, I think so. Fireball Beach
strikes again.
Damn. Okay, we need to do a smudging around Zach Beach.
Yep.
And you know why? You know why that happened?
Because he never came on our show.
Exactly. Although, to be fair, part of that was because I was at a funeral and didn't check my email. It was not their, at that point, it was not their PR person's fault, because I didn't see the email time.
I thought that you were harkening back to when you DM'd him.
Oh, well, no. Zach Veach can F right off for that because he specifically said he would come on the show, and we love Zach Veach. And then I was like, and I was like, do you want a business card? Like, here's our info. And he was like, no, like, just contact me. And I'm like, okay, so like, what's the best way to do that? Like, because I'm like, do you want my number? Like, I'm not trying to be aggressive, and which is hard for me. And yeah, he was like, oh no, just send me a DM on Instagram. And I was like, cool. Did it the next day. Nothing.
Nothing.
I guess maybe he just didn't check his spam folder. I don't know.
Like, I don't want to say that that's the reason that his car caught fire and he no longer has a drive with Andretti Autosport, but it's not the reason.
I'm just saying we've chatted with Jack Harvey many times, and each season he continues to do better. He's still with Meyershank Racing full time, and I don't believe his car has ever caught fire.
No.
So, I mean, cause and effect? I don't know. Causation versus correlation? Well, that's for you guys to decide.
It's for the universe.
For the universe. But yeah, I'm just overall, drivers who let us interview them tend to do better.
Just putting it out there.
Putting it out there.
Yes. So anyway.
But yeah, so T-Bell's car caught fire, which means he again got another 12 hours of beauty sleep.
During the 24. I really feel like he only said like 6, but every time we talk about this, it's at least more than 10.
Oh yeah. No. Townsend Bell sleeps like a cat. 16 hours a day. Like, that's what I imagine his life is like.
Yeah. Yep. Yes. That's why he looks so good. It's fine. I mean, I get it. I can't. If that's the secret, that's the secret. I will not be able to obtain that secret.
Yeah, I'd like it to be something obtainable.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, getting better sleep and I would look younger. I don't know that I can commit to that.
Not gonna happen.
Like, it's just not. There's too many things. I can sleep when I'm dead.
But also, some of us just don't have good sleep habits. I just can't sleep.
I was just trying to say that in a nice way.
I'm just an insomniac. It's fine.
Yeah. I mean, there's always that. When I sleep the best? An hour before I need to leave for work.
That's a magical sleep.
Oh, God, yeah. That last little hour, I'm like, I could sleep forever.
And then
nope. Not at 9 p.m.
Yep.
Oh. So, no, there wouldn't. I mean, there were little battles here and there.
There's battles throughout. I mean, that's the great thing about the races. There's always great moments. And there's like a lot, and we'll kind of get, and everybody's like, read about the drivers. Don't worry, we're going to hit those here in a minute or two. Because there's like larger story arcs about different drivers.
Yes.
The ending was really good.
It was. I do want to give a kudos to NBC because this is a race that it is imperative to show multiple parts of the field because you have 4 different classes, etc. You cannot just show the front the whole 24 hours. And I feel like overall they did an excellent job of showing the different classes and talking about, the battles, for first and second within each class and, with them going through traffic, etc. And so, everybody knows that if I think it's bullshit, I call it bullshit. But I will say I thought that they did a decent job. Pretty good job.
Yeah.
I was there were a few times that I was like, I might split screen this. But I'm not a producer for NBC. Yet.
They don't need my talent. Well, they need our talents. They just
need our talents.
Need our talents.
Yeah, that's going on the vision board. We want to be the announcers because I'll tell you what, 30 minutes into the race, there was already awkward silence. And I was like, y'all, it's going to be a long fucking day for you.
Awkward silence.
Day.
I can't even, and it's too far back in the text messages now to in our text, just between the two of us. To remember, but they just started talking about like the most random stuff, and I was like, oh no.
Like, are we already out of topics?
Like,
it's like, do you have no more flashcards?
What? So somebody put me on a phone. It's fine.
Right? And then there's you and I, who I was concerned that this episode wouldn't be long enough, that we might need to
Oh yeah, no, we're at
combine it
20,
with another one. Yeah.
25 minutes.
I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I was the one who was concerned, and yet I haven't shut up the whole time. So you see, like, we would not have awkward silences.
No,
Right?
I mean there would be awkward topics for a moment or two, but
Sure.
racing. But that's part of the charm.
It is. It's what
The
makes
whole
us just
package here.
adorably non-threatening. Well, and honestly, if we were silent, it'd be because some serious shit was going down.
That would also be the problem. Is all we just get quiet and be like, shh, nobody talk. Shit's about to happen.
We'd be like, wait, watch this.
It'd be good.
Watch it. Wait for it.
Son of a bitch!
Oh, I told you. Yeah, exactly.
We
That's.
would have to be on like a 5-second delay for the FCC.
Oh, yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah.
That's okay. That's just standard for us.
Whoever is in charge of the bleep button should get double pay or hazard pay for
Hazard
us.
pay.
They're gonna have carpal tunnel by the end.
They're gonna have 2 of them, like those things that you hold in your hands to like count people to come in. Just 2 little
Yeah.
joysticks. Tick, 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 tick. So anyway.
Oh.
All right. So here's what made the end exciting is that we actually had a very competitive DPI class. I think
Super competitive.
5 of them ended on the lead lap, and the time between them was like I believe they said it was the closest it had ever been.
Yeah.
Still,
Very sad that the our favorite Ben Hanley and one of Dragon Speed's cars did not make it very far into the race, which just broke my little heart when I heard. I think it happened while I was driving. And so, like, when I got back and they were like, yeah, we were down to 1 Dragon Speed car, I was like, no! And I'm like, pull up the spotter's guide, and I was like, Ben's car is out.
Ben, why?
But yeah, both their cars had issues, though, because their other one had some speed issues as well.
Yeah. It's, it's
interesting because they usually do pretty well.
And that's, I think, one of the craziest things about this race is that, like, you will have cars that are extremely dominant for a lot of the 48 car. It was extremely dominant, and then all of a sudden I think everybody felt it. You were like, that car's not as fast all of a sudden, and it wasn't the driver. You just were like,
I mean,
at the time it wasn't the driver. Now there were other.
I'm just saying, one driver played a part in the 48's position when it did start to seem slower.
Yeah, like it wasn't that it was like if it was up in the front and it got slower, like sometimes you can manage and maybe get it in, but
yeah,
they were not leading when the car just started to lose speed, and it was like, this doesn't feel good.
I know, it was like just slowly sinking in. I was like, they're not going to pull it off.
Yeah,
I want it so bad, but they're not going to pull it off.
I feel like we all kind of felt that moment.
We did. But you know what? We can be glad about who did win because our favorite spotter was on that team.
I cannot wait to chat at him. Just like, oh my God, bro, tell me how it was.
40,
tell me stories.
We want to hear it all. Did you do the crockpot idea and make some chili like we suggested? What'd you say?
What does Rossi smell like?
Okay.
What does Elio Castroneves smell like?
Oh, Elio Castroneves smells like Armani. I know exactly what he smells like. I'm not lying. He happens to wear one of my favorite colognes, so I always notice it right away. Or at least the last time that I was close enough to smell him, he was wearing it.
Sorry.
I know the phrasing on that was odd.
I was waiting for. I was like, she's gonna.
Yep,
I'm gonna say something creepy that she doesn't know is creepy until I'm just wait, Hilliker, your time is now.
The last time I was close enough to smell him.
Oh. This is what happens when we record episodes after 9 p.m.
Right? Well, and I was at work all day, doing important things as a nurse. And so literally like at 7:30 on a work day, my brain's like, cool, you can stay, but I'm out. So like my brain is like, oh, we've used up all the critical thinking we have. It is just fart jokes and and inappropriate
Creepy.
commentary from here on out. Yeah, and creepy. Uh, um, but yeah, I want a video when you ask 40 what Rossi smells like, because the last time we mentioned a a driver to him and asked some questions, his reaction was solid gold. So much judgment.
So much judgment.
I mean, not for you though.
I feel like some of that judgment was towards me about the question.
Well, I think because he was disappointed that you didn't think you deserved better.
That's true. There was like weird mom disappointment from 40.
Yeah, like he was like, nope, don't like them, and I'm sad that you didn't see that on your own.
Right? I just wanted him to do like the whole, he's just like, and he kind of waves the hand in front of me, just no.
Just nope.
Back to the DPIs. Yeah. I'm swinging us back. It was close at the end. The 48
close.
Lost the speed, so they couldn't get it. But then we had a really great battle between the Wayne Taylor racing car and the Chip Ganassi racing car.
Yes.
Chips, they swung around, came on back to the DPI class.
They did. They did, which is funny. We got to chat with Mike Holo because he loved GTD so much.
Really did.
He really did, which is funny because not everybody feels that way. You know, we've talked to some people that are like, oh my God, I'm so glad we're in DPI now. GTD is just a beast. But yeah, like Mike Hole was all about it. So, I mean, he's about all racing. I'm sure he's
sure he was like, oh, it's the DPI class now? All
cool.
Right. Cool. Let's race.
Oh, that Chip Ganassi car, I'll tell you what. Cameramen need to stay the hell away from Chip when things
just, you know, I
like when shit is afoot, please leave Chip alone. He does not want to talk to you.
If it's a tense situation, if his car is close but there's somebody near him, don't talk to Chip. Chip doesn't like that, okay?
He doesn't. He won't look at you, or he might glance here and there, but Chip, in my mind,
answered from Chip.
Yeah, like in my mind, he very much like channels AJ Foyt.
Yep.
Like Chip is one stupid question away from smacking a reporter in the back of the head.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It almost happened.
It really did.
Yes, they were. The
what did happen to there?
Yeah, so the Ganassi car was catching up to the Wayne Taylor racing car.
They were.
I mean, there was, because obviously I'm pulling for Wayne Taylor racing, and I was like, oh no. And then they cut a tire, and it was like a rear tire. And so like somebody...
That's right. It happened twice. So because Scott Dixon cut a tire, and they thought it was just debris, because they interviewed Mike Hole, and they were like, you know, what was that about? Oh my God, my cat. I'm sorry. She is trying to jump to the very top of the TV stand and she's not making it. So she's just jumping straight up and down.
Alrighty.
Yep. Cat world in my apartment right now.
Yeah, that's
fine. So, you know, they asked Michael and he's like, we think it was just debris, because they brought it in, obviously swapped out the tire. And then, you know, inspected, and it didn't seem like there was anything on the car that did it, etc. Which, by the way, every time somebody did anything to their car, the announcers mentioned, like, it never happens when you're right by the pits. Like, okay, yeah, no, it's like Murphy's Law. I get it. Also, percentage-wise, like the odds, like the odds are in your favor that it's not going to be by the pits. Okay. That's like saying, you know, when you lose something, it's always in the last place you look. Well, no shit. Why would you keep looking?
Yeah, like, duh.
Yeah. Sorry. Races are won and lost, which they really are in this race. But but yeah, so they bring it in. It's like, nope, we think we just hit debris. And then it was one of their other drivers that goes out and it cut again. Yeah. And yeah, it seemed to be some. I think it was.
I only know that because I like to see his name. But yeah, so it was like about 7 minutes to go, and they got that tire issue.
So
and
close.
That took him out of contention, and they had asked Chip a question about right before that happened, and Chip gave a like and back to racing, and then
Because also, you're 7 minutes left in a 24-hour race. Why are you trying to talk to anybody?
Right, like get your cameras out the face, okay? They're
right,
everybody watching.
Even you and I wouldn't talk to a camera at that point.
First of all, we wouldn't. Yeah, no.
No, we don't even talk to each other at that point.
No, we are there.
Yeah, we just If we have anything to say, we sign it.
Mm-hmm. And then tire blew, and the cameraman was there to catch Chip's reaction to that.
Oh, thank God for masks.
Yeah, that's yeah. But you could see what he was saying under that mask. You knew. You knew.
Yeah, that right there was Al Pacino.
Oh yeah.
Yep. Yep. When he compared himself to Al Pacino, I was like, "Yep, I can see that."
Yeah. It was all classes had a good race, but the GTI they were really competitive this year. So
they were. And was it last year that we broke the record for most laps? Yeah.
Yes.
Which didn't that I say haven't we seen that twice? Didn't that also happen the first year we went in 2018?
I don't recall.
I think it did, because I remember that Doug even said, like, "Oh my gosh, there were not many yellows," because we kept hoping for a yellow, thinking that maybe we'd be able to sleep, but one never came.
I just don't know.
It never came.
No.
So anyhow, I think we've seen that happen twice. But yeah, it was like, if they hadn't had so many yellows, those cars were so fast, I think they would have broken that record again this year.
Oh, 100%.
Because the weather was perfection. Couldn't have been better.
Great weather down there.
And it better be that good next year.
All right.
So, yeah. So then.
So for the winners.
Out of contention. Yes. On to the winners.
So for DPI, as we kind of hinted, it's the Wayne Taylor number 10, the Acura.
Which it is that team's third year.
Yep.
In a row. They've won more than that, but the Konica Minolta car.
It is not a Cadillac this year. It's an Acura. Just want to point that out to everybody. LMP2 era. Don't worry, people. We will talk about the IndyCar drivers here in just a moment. Just want to at least tell you who won each category.
Right. And LMP. I say was that the era car that had the crayon?
Yes, the era car for the LMP2 had the fun crayon drawing on it.
Yep, because they had a contest for kids to design the car, and anyhow, super cool.
Like 6-year-old from Canada won.
Yeah, and I love it. And like the car literally looked like it had been colored on with crayons, and
it was also a kind of baller design though.
It really was.
I was like, that car has lightning bolts. It's gonna go fast.
Yeah, I think we should let 6-year-olds design the cars from here on out, because lightning. It was cool. Anyhow.
LMP3s, which this was actually the first year that we had LMP3s, and so that's like it's really like the first step in your like prototypes. So they're slower. It's the first entry level, so it's their first year in the Rolex. The Riley Liger won. I don't know. GT Le Mans was the Corvette Racing, which that one was the one that was driven by Jordan Taylor.
Oh, yeah.
And then the GTD was Windward Racing, and actually it was Windward Racing's first race in the GTD class. They had been doing the lower run Michigan Pilot Challenge, but this year they jumped up to GTD and they won the Rolex. Like, okay,
good for them. Hell yeah.
You just like brush your shoulders off.
Seriously, like you did some work in the off season, came out here and got yourself a real nice watch.
Peed all over that truck and was like, this truck is ours now.
This is mine. This is where my babies come from.
Now, on to the more important parts.
How did our guys do?
Our IndyCar drivers. Well, spoiler alert. Rossi won the Rolex. And that's what I've been saying. Oh, yeah, no. Rossi won the Rolex on the number 10. Also with Elio Castroneves. So,
yeah.
That's a pairing I don't think I would ever have put in the same car together, but apparently it worked.
I mean, yeah, them driving at separate times, I think that works. I stand by my statement that Rossi was so over Elio's bubbly personality by the end of it. Like, if you notice the photos later on, Rossi is on the opposite side of Elio.
I just
Like, he starts out
like,
closer to him,
too
and then
much.
like as the social media went on throughout the race, etc., like Rossi got as far away from Elio as he could. Like,
Socially distancing.
yeah, it's hard to be an introvert.
It is, damn it.
I know. No, I don't know how you people do it.
I don't know. Some of us take medication, some of us kill people. It's fine. You just find a coping mechanism that works.
Exactly. Yeah.
Second in the DPI class was the number 48, the Ally car with IndyCar winner Simon Pagenaud and IndyCar rookie Jimmy Johnson.
Oh, okay. I've got a couple things about that last thing you said. Number one, yeah. I know that technically it's his first time in the series, so like yes, he's a rookie in IndyCar. But personally, I don't really think you can call yourself an IndyCar driver if you don't run all the races.
Do you want to have this rant now, or would you like to
I'm just gonna leave this Easter egg here and say, just wait till I'm just dropping it now.
Can't rant the same thing in the back-to-back episodes.
I'm not going to say exactly. I'm not going to say anything else about it. I'm just going to say that is my opinion. I will expound on that later. Secondly, did anybody know that Jimmy Johnson was in the Rolex 24? Because I don't think they mentioned it any less than 1,000 times an hour.
An hour.
Good God! I saw somebody on Twitter was like, "Well, it's it's the 24 hours of Jimmy Johnson."
Jesus Lord.
Oh, and you know what? It wasn't just him. Chase Elliott, who, by the way, I agree with you, Molly. Very feminine hips. And
I don't know what is happening with his like weird beard mustache thing. But
and
he
like
needs to stop.
And like the red ribbing on his suit was not doing anything for him to look manly.
He just I stand by my text to you and I quote, Chase Elliott has very feminine hips.
He does.
It's a peek into our text during races, everyone.
It gets wild. But and here's the thing, and I'm here for it. I'm here for you, giving some extra love to like the NASCAR guys, the IndyCar guys, the F1 guys, etc. Because there are people of, all types of motorsports, fans of all types of motorsports that cross over and watch this event. Mm-hmm. But at a point, it just feels like pandering.
Or weird hero worship.
Yeah.
Like, did Jimmy Johnson save the families of all of NBC's production crew? I have questions.
Well, and it's like, that's fine. Like, yeah, he's here, he's doing this, talk about he's going in IndyCar. But, we typically don't focus on the driver in a team that drives the shittiest.
The worst. I love it how he got in the car and we're like, all right, he's in the car. And then like 2 seconds later, we're like, ooh, no, Jimmy, no.
Shit.
They're losing speed, right?
Yeah. Every time.
Every time.
He seems like a real nice guy. I'll say that. I've not met him yet. I'm sure we'll like him. He seems nice, but I'd prefer for my Simon to not be on his team in the future at the Rolex.
I will put that on the vision board.
Please do.
I'm going to make a really shitty vision board now.
First off, we're never actually making it.
Just the MS Paint one. Let's be really clear. Comic Sans. No, I wouldn't do that to us.
No, please no.
Fourth, I don't remember who was third. But what didn't have anybody in IndyCar, so it doesn't matter. Fourth was the number 60, the Meyer Shank racing car with Juan.
That's right.
People forgot that Juan was driving.
Wow. Oh my gosh. And his interviews were fantastic.
I mean, it's Juan.
I mean, they should interview him more, honestly. Because he just wears his heart on his sleeve, and like we like to poke a little fun at Juan. He can be very entertaining, but I'll tell you what, like he is 100% honest. Like you ask him a question, you're getting a straight answer.
I mean,
Whether he's excited, pissed, frustrated,
has a vendetta against a plastic bag, you're going to hear about it.
Oh, you're going to hear about it. Like you should interview him more because everything he says is gold.
Yes.
Gold.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Especially if he's upset.
Oh, it's the best.
And when they were in the lead, during pit cycles, I just laughed because I was like, I mean, he doesn't look in the rearview mirror, so
he just keep
going. Flash lights all you want.
Flash away. He don't care.
Juan doesn't give a shit about anybody behind him.
Nope.
But yeah, Mike Shank looked good too.
He did look good.
Yeah, no, looks healthy. I'm excited to see him again this season. I love that team.
Mike's been having some fun in the off season.
Right?
Getting a new place. It's cool, Mike. It's cool.
You know what's interesting though, because we joked about Elio and Juan coming back to IndyCar, and Elio's doing part-time at Meyer Shank, and we talked about both of them, and then Juan gets a ride with Meyer Shank on the sports car side.
It was very strange.
Yeah, it was like, did we in a convoluted way speak this into existence?
Well, because everybody thought that, Elio's going to do, the deal with Meyer Shank and IndyCar, and that means he'll also work with them, and
because that was how we justified it to ourselves.
Yeah, he was gonna get their sports car stuff, and we're like, well, no, okay, Juan, all right, okay.
Maybe it was like when you go to adopt a pet, and like maybe they're siblings, and they're like, nope, they can't be separated, and
they're
so
bonded.
Yeah, like it's a bonded pair. You have to take both, and so I think when he went to pick him up from the pasture that Penske put him in.
Yeah. When you went to adopt Elio.
Yeah, like
hey, you gotta take Juan though.
Adopt retired Penske drivers. It's like, okay, you can have this one, but you got to take his brother too.
Look,
but I don't want that one. That's the point.
Yeah. But you gotta.
They're a bonded pair.
Which is funny though, because Juan has the 500 ride with Arrow McLaren SP. You can't diagram this, people. You can't.
This is bizarre.
So,
yeah. COVID land to bizarro world. It's going to be a very interesting IndyCar season.
Number 5 in the DPIs is the number 1, the Chip Ganassi car, which had, of course, Scott Dixon, also Marcus Ericsson.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Now and then I was like, Marcus? What? And then, coming in 7th in the DPI class was the number 5 with Sebastian Bourdais. And this was the all-French driver car who apparently, when the car is doing good, they would talk in English. But if the car was not doing good, all the drivers would start speaking in French, and nobody on the crew knew what they were saying. And it was just basically a bitch session, but nobody knew.
Oh, that's hilarious. I thought that the crew understood French. Oh, that's great. That means they're really pissed. Like they just straight flipped back into their primary language. Oh yeah, no, like that was just a full-on rant.
Oh yeah, no, and then when they said that, and I was like, I love the French.
I love the French. I've said it before, I'll say it again. Like,
this car is shit, and I don't want to tell anybody else about it, but I'm gonna tell my fellow Frenchmen.
Right? Like blah 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 merda. I'm like, I know merda.
Yep.
It's a cognate. It's very close. Yeah, no, that. Yeah, I loved that little factoid. When you sent that to me, I was like, that is awesome.
Right?
That is awesome.
Then we have to go to the LMP3s for drivers. So winning the LMP3 category is the number 74 car with Oliver Askew and Spencer Pigot.
Hell yeah. We love us some Spigot.
Yeah.
And
Olive.
obviously we love Ollie. Oh my gosh.
Which,
But
again, strange pairing, but I could see it.
yeah. And also, IndyCar team owners, one of you had better sign Oliver for a full-time deal.
It just doesn't.
I will set something on fire.
Don't have any spots. Somebody's gonna have to make us spot. Just
Yeah.
We'll talk about that next later. Anyway, and then coming in 6 actually is Remus Lynn. I always mispronounce this poor child's name, who's on a road to Indy though. So we had a road to Indy kiddo.
You talking McGinnis?
Nope. Lind.
Nope.
Lidh is his last name. His first name, I always want to call him Remus, and that's not it. It's like Rasmus.
Oh, yeah.
Coming, and here's a double number for you. LMP3 coming in 7th, the number 7 car with Gabby Chavez and Charles Finelli.
Who you might remember from Fat Boy Racing.
Which, that was somebody we didn't know was racing until day of the race, I feel like.
Yeah. Then we all lost it. We're like, wait a second. It's Charles!
We're like, Finelli. See, Finelli. Could that be? And it was.
Oh.
So weird. All right, in the GTD class, coming in 6th was the car with young Colton Herta in it. He actually won in the GTD class last year. He did not win this year. Coming in 13th was the car with Zach Beach and Townsend Bell. You know, the car that caught on fire.
Yep. I mean, T-Bell has covered enough IndyCar races with Beach in them that he knew his risk.
I mean, it was just interesting. I caught just a scotch of the Torque show before the race because I didn't know if there was going to be like an IMSA pre-show. There wasn't. They literally just like, time to go.
God.
I was like, oh, okay, so there's no like, welcome to Daytona. We're just going to go. All right.
Right. Like, where's the 30 minutes of B-roll?
Like, tell the people what's happening.
Yeah, come on now.
So on the Torque show, they interviewed Zach Beach. And they were like, yeah, so hopefully we'll see you in IndyCar again. And I was like, that's hurtful. A little. Just like I can't remember the question, but just the way that they asked it, they're like, yeah, so basically IndyCar isn't working out for you, so you're going to try sports car? And he was like, yeah.
I mean, he like, he wanted to be like, you're a dick.
I hate all of you.
Right? Like, obviously, have you seen me in this fucking race before?
I ain't done this race before, so.
Yeah. Not like I'm here as a regular. I'm obviously trying out different avenues. As anyone who is unemployed does. Like, get off me, bro. It's a job.
It's a job. I'm driving a car.
Yeah. Like, it might not be my dream job, but it's got the 2 most important things. Driving a car. I'm making money.
Yep. Fire suit. See, I didn't realize this as I was writing all of these down. Firestone. The remaining GTD cars, they were all in order. So 13th was the car with Beach and Bell. 14th was the car with Ed Jones, who's back in IndyCar this year. We'll talk about that later. 15th. Yes?
Yep, we will.
Okay. 15th is the car with Jerry Hildebrand.
I love JR. He had a great interview. And he's an adjunct professor at MIT.
I mean, what the hell?
Which is hilarious. Now, I didn't realize that. And so now I want to make my nephew take one of his classes.
Yeah. I mean, we need to have this happen. I don't know. He's just going to have to take one for the team.
Oh, yeah. Like, I haven't texted him yet, but I mean, he will. But like, if there's any flack, I'm going to be like, it's not optional. Okay.
No,
like,
play the Aunt card. I'm sorry.
Yeah. I'm like, I'm pulling the Aunt Abby card.
Yeah.
You have to take a class from J.R. Hildebrand.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And when he talked about, he was like telling a story and he's like, and they're like, Professor Hildebrand. And it just made me giggle. Because I'm like, first off, I know you tell them all to call you JR.
Yeah, first of all, that's cute. You say like, it's cool, man. Just call me JR.
Right. Also, and I know that it's 2021. I just don't love men with long hair, and I'm not calling somebody with hair as long as JR professor of anything.
Unless he's Professor Xavier for the X-Men, and that man's bald. Like, if you have long hair and somebody's calling you a professor, congratulations, it's a cult. That's it. That's the rule. I'm sorry, that's the rule.
Schedule a deprogramming session.
Don't drink the flavor, right? Okay, people.
Oh. Oh.
Rounding out our IndyCar people in the Rolex is the final GTD. They came in 16th. The car with Aaron T. Litz and Kyle Kirkowitz. We had a few Red Indy kiddos.
We did. Well, and you actually forgot McGinnis was in there too.
I didn't see his name.
Excuse me. I'm so over this COVID cough that will not leave. I don't still have COVID.
I know, it's just the lingering cough.
I know. So for those listeners, while I look this up, I had my identity stolen this year, or like an identity breach, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Anyhow, I finally found out who it was through, who caused it. And it was actually the app Drizzly, which is hysterical because I have never once been in an area that they service. But I signed up because they were the first app that was like, hey, we deliver alcohol. And I'm like, that's my kind of party.
That's why I never signed up, is because they just, every time I go to the website, they're like, we don't serve to your area yet. And I was like, well, then I'm not downloading your app.
Yeah, luckily I didn't use like my full name or any of that business, blah, blah. But yeah, so to delete my account info, I have to petition for it. I have to put why, they review it, and then like get back to me. And I'm like, oh.
For like an app?
For an app to buy liquor and have it delivered to your house. I'm like, if you want to have a fight, yeah, Robert McGinnis, he was in the 12. Oh, he was with Zach Veach and Townsend Bell.
Oh, that's so fun. I think I saw Veach and Bell, and then I was like, and their car caught fire, and I moved on.
Yep. But yep, nope. He was in their car. Okay. But yeah, so anyhow, for those of you who aren't aware, Big Red Liquors delivers. At most, it's a $5 delivery fee, and a lot of times they'll do a special where if you order over $20, it's a free delivery fee. So don't download the Drizzly app. Your information will be compromised. And
also, apparently, you have to write a letter to deactivate your account.
Asinine.
Are you my mom?
And do download the Big Red app.
Yes.
And buy from them and get delivery from them, because not only are they the favorite liquor store of our college town, they support IndyCar and Jay Howard driver development team. So,
and they sponsor Jay Howard's team.
Yep, that's all you need to know. Drizzly
some alcohol. Listen to some DMX.
There you go, and don't download Drizzly.
That's it for the Rolex.
Yep, that is it. It was weird not to be there in person.
It was weird.
Yeah, but yeah, it was just
Yeah.
And then we were both kind of irritated. I will say this, because they didn't have tent camping, like to keep it safer, but then they sold infield parking. And if you parked in there, you could stay all 24 hours.
Which is stupid. And I mean, it's not stupid, but it's like, well,
it's stupid.
That's exactly what camping is.
Well, yeah, only most people aren't going to go sleep in their car. They're going to then spend more time outside around other people. And they still had the Ferris wheel, which, don't get me wrong, I love the Ferris wheel. But if your whole thing was like to make it safer, why do you have a Ferris wheel? I thought you canceled all the fan activities. Like, no, you actually, like, I don't know. It felt like they did it to be quote unquote safe. But in actuality, they got to make new rules that gave them the ability to charge more money for things and make even more money off of it.
No, I think that's 100% what happened.
Yeah. Oh, I will say this about NBC, though. Although they did good overall, they cut away from the fucking fireworks to show the broadcasters. And I was like, oh, no, you did not. Those fireworks go on for a good minute. There are cars. There are fireworks.
Wait,
And-
what are the broadcasters going to talk about? Okay.
Oh,
And one of them was talking about how great the fireworks were, and I was like, then why am I looking at you?
Then stop showing you. Show the fireworks.
Yeah, that enraged me. I actually had to like get up and like walk around my apartment at that point.
Because the fireworks
That
are
was-
always like a moment.
Yeah, like, I mean, I was disappointed when the 48 started losing speed, but like the fireworks, like them just shutting away from that actually made me that was my most emotional part of the race. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna get up, walk around, and count to 10 before I send this tweet.
Let me just take a minute.
Oh. So yeah, NBC, don't ever turn away from fireworks. First off, it is
Fireworks.
easy ratings. Everybody loves
Everybody
fireworks.
loves fireworks.
And if you don't,
You're a communist. Oh my God, we have it in this episode.
yeah, okay. White flag, anything?
Next year. I guess that's my white flag. Next year.
My white flag is that our favorite young racers in the Pain Tour, Alex and Jackson, went with their dad to the Rolex for the very first time, and they freaking loved it, and they didn't even get to experience the full thing. And I told him, I was like, I'm so glad you had a great time. I'm like, next year when we all go and you get to experience the whole thing, camping in the infield, etc., I'm like, you are going to look back on this year and be like, that was bullshit. I'm
Right.
like, I know that sounds crazy right now, but you really will.
100% true.
So, yep, can't wait to go back. We've roped some new friends into it for next year. Already started the planning. I'd say we're pretty good there. So, all right, well, let's wave the checkered.
Alrighty.
Thanks for listening.
Also, visit our website at www.fastcarsfastgirls.com.